We're headed out to one of the most competitive divisions in football, the NFC West. We'll be talking about the Rams, Cardinals, 49ers, and Seahawks. Hey everyone, welcome back to SportStar's YouTube. Again, my name's Kyle.
And I'm Blade, and like you just heard, we're continuing our Best Player SportStar series. Now this is episode 2. If you missed episode 1, be sure to check it out where we discuss the AFC West. But this week is all about the NFC West.
And last time we talked, we had a couple disagreements, we agreed a couple times, but I'm excited to see who we picked this week and what our reasons are.
And I mean, there's really no place better to start. They are the Super Bowl champs. So Kyle, let's start with the Rams. Tell me who you got.
The Rams, well, they have all the talent. They came off the Super Bowl championship, but I'm going with a new guy, 8-time Pro Bowler, 6-time first-team All-Pro, Bobby Wagner.
Wow. Good pick. I am also going with a new player as well, but on the other side of the ball, and I'm going with Allen Robinson.
Wow.
Now, this guy has never had an elite quarterback his entire career. I mean, he had 14 touchdowns with Blake Bortles as his quarterback. I think with Stafford at the helm, and you got McVay's offense, I mean, Nagy held him back last year in Chicago, where he's kind of disappeared and forgot about, but I think now he's going to be the guy.
He will have an uphill battle, I think, to be the best player on the team. Bobby Wagner, I mean, he's had 170 tackles last year in 16 games. He's a veteran linebacker who's going to be the quarterback of that defense, the leader in the locker room. He's going to be the key piece on that defense that they're going to look to repeat as champions in the NFC West.
He is, and he's getting a little older too, so I think he might take a step back. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying he's not a former shell of himself. He's still a phenomenal player. But I think Allen Robinson, like I said, with an actual quarterback, is going to be the guy in the offense.
It will be fun to see what he can do because we haven't seen him, like you said, with an elite quarterback, having that talent around him, being able to free him up to do his thing down the field. It'll be fun to watch Allen Robinson play.
And now we talked about offense and defense, but my second place pick was actually a special teamer, and that was Matt Gay. Kickers never get any love, but this guy was 32 for 34 in field goals, career long of 58. I mean, he can kick it from anywhere.
And when you need points, you got to have that consistency in the kicker spot. That's a good pick too. I was also looking at other key players on both sides of the ball. A'Shawn Robertson, who had a hell of a showing in the Super Bowl, as well as Ernest Jones, the rookie last year. He came in and played extremely well at the linebacker. Now he's going to play alongside Bobby Wagner. That could be a really good duo in the middle there. But also, like you said, with Allen Robinson on the offensive side of the ball, you got Cam Akers, a super talented running back. Tyler Higbee, the really good overall tight end. They got weapons across the board. OBJ, you don't know where he's going to be. I know he's a free agent right now, but
I mean, they are the Super Bowl champs. This one could have gone a lot of different ways, so I'm not shocked we disagree because there are plenty of good options here with the Rams.
Yep, no kidding. Well, let's go over to Arizona, the Cardinals. Who do you think there?
Okay, well, I have a caveat with this one, and the first is DeAndre Hopkins. This guy can't make up his mind on anything. He switches his cleats, his gloves, his chin strap. So if he wears our chin strap, he is hands down my pick.
Yeah.
But since I don't know, I'm going to go with the guy on the other side of the ball, and that's Isaiah Simmons.
That's who I got too.
Well, okay. Well, give me your reasons first then.
I mean, he jumps off the page when you look at his athleticism. A 4.39 40 for a guy who's 6'4", 240 pounds. He is going to be able to cover anybody with his speed all over the field, making plays. But his size and his strength help him so much in the run game too. He is a dominant linebacker.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing this guy can't do. And I play in an IDP fantasy league, and I have to get this guy every year. He's my guy because he can do it all. Pass breakups, forced fumbles, interceptions. I mean, this guy's a freak.
And he has a motor. Like the play he made last year against the Cowboys, blitzing and then chasing down Dak Prescott, who went off and ran the ball, knocking that ball out to make a play and secure their playoff spot. Really, at the end of the season, he's a talented player. I'm excited to see what he can do moving forward.
I agree. I'm not gonna lie. I thought for sure we were gonna disagree on this one, but I guess when you're that much of a stud, we picked the great minds think alike, and we both went with him.
Yeah, and he's only going to be his third year in the league. Still a young talent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch to see how he can anchor that defense.
And Clemson's got a lot of good players. Him and Hop. I mean.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
Well, Kyle, why don't we go ahead to the 49ers now? Who are you taking?
Trent Williams. I think it's just going to go out and say it. He's got to be the guy on the 49ers. He's the best left tackle in the league. And he's done it for a long time. Elite pass blocker. And probably the best run blocking left tackle in the league as well.
All right, well, I'm going to need your guy to have a good year so that my guy has a good year. But I went with Elijah Mitchell. I mean, he only started 10 games last year, and he still almost had 1,000 yards. Raheem Morstead's gone, and let's be honest, Trey Sermon hasn't lived up to the hype. So I think this is the guy, and in Shanahan's Fan's offense, he's going to have a phenomenal year.
Elijah Mitchell was my second pick, but what you said to start, Trent Williams, my pick, will have to have a good year to allow Elijah Mitchell to be a stud as well, and that's why I went with Trent Williams.
There's no question. Like I said, those guys are kind of in it together. If one has a good year, the other one most likely will too.
And we know that 49ers run offense is mean, and they can pound the ball.
No question.
Yeah.
And then I do want to bring up a guy on the other side of the ball. He's a young guy that they got in a steal from the Texans, and that's Charles Omenihu. He doesn't get any love because obviously they got Bosa over there, but that's where all the attention goes. And I think this guy could really show some things and do some things this year.
He has the frame and the build to be an elite player, and he made a difference in their defense at the end of the last season after the trade. I agree. He could be a really good player to watch and a really key part of that team.
I agree. And then the last one I was thinking of was Brandon Ayuk. I mean, obviously he had a little bit of down year last year, but I mean behind Kittle and I think
Deebo Samuel.
Deebo Samuel, he was third in touchdowns last year. So
yeah, he rounds that offense out really well. Good athletic receiver who can run all the routes. Yeah, he's a good one to watch too, and a guy that they need to have moving forward to be able to be competitive, because their offense wasn't really the focal point. They would win by run game and defense in the passing game. We don't know how they're going to look next year. But.
Well, that being said, though, I'm still going to stick with Elijah Mitchell. But like I said, if your guy has a good year, my guys were going to have a good year too. So.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So now we're down to the Seahawks. Who you got?
I'm going to stick with the offensive line spot, Dwayne Brown. I mean, going into his 15th season, he played 969 snaps last year. He's not slowing down even though he's getting older. He's a solid vet. But, I mean, they've lost a handful of players this offseason that wore SportStar and free agency and whatnot. But he's my pick for the Seahawks.
All right, well, it looks like we're going to agree on two teams again this one as well. So, obviously, losing Russ and Wagner, I mean, that would have been two easy SportStar picks, but they're both gone. But like I said, Dwayne Brown, he played in 98% of all snaps last year. And they're most likely going to have a young quarterback, and they're going to need someone to protect him.
Yeah.
And I think with Dwayne Brown there at left tackle, securing him some time, I think he's going to have a good year for the Seahawks to have any sort of success this year.
Yeah, he is a key player on their offensive line. He joined the Seahawks in 2018, and in that season they were the #1 rushing offense. He started at tight end at Virginia Tech, so he has that unique athleticism in the offensive line, and he can play probably a couple more years at an elite level.
Yeah, I mean, he was a former first-round pick. I mean, usually first-round pick offensive linemen pan out. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Seahawks do this year, obviously with all the changes. But I think you have him securing the spot at left tackle, and that gives him hope for the future.
I agree. But it also will be interesting to see what the Seahawks do with all the draft capital and everything they've been getting from all the picks.
True.
The Seahawks could be rebuilding, but successful soon.
I agree. So there'll be a young, exciting, fun team to watch.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that wraps up the NFC West for us. Couple agreements, couple disagreements again.
So let us know who you think had the better players.
And check us out again on our social media and like and subscribe to the video. Thanks for watching.
And be sure to tune in next week when we discuss the AFC North.